and welcome. You're watching Business Today. I'm Neetu Chandra Sharma. Dr. Reddy's Laboratories has continued to press ahead with portfolio actions, investments, and product launches, even as global pharmaceutical markets remain uneven. Beyond the numbers, the company has making choices around where to deploy capital, which markets to prioritize, and how to build durability into its business model. To discuss where Dr. Reddy's is headed from here, I'm joined by MV Ramana, CEO, India and Emerging Markets. Ramana, a very warm welcome to you. It is always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank
And I
you.
would start off by asking you, I'd like to start off by asking you that this quarter shows steady execution across key markets despite pricing and regulatory pressure. So, what exactly stood out for you, and where did the performance differ from your own expectations?
Sure. I think the performance has been in line with what we have planned. So in terms of the base business growth, India, emerging markets, Europe, NRT have all done well. And as expected, there has been a slowdown in the US because of lenalidomide sales. But overall, at the base business, we have been able to deliver a double-digit growth. India, emerging markets, NRT continue to have strong growth that has actually helped the organization to move forward.
You have been speaking about building depth rather than scale. So, with the current environment in the pharmaceutical industry that you are seeing, how are you deciding that which products are and geographies deserve more capital and which no longer fit into your priorities?
So in terms of depth, what happens is because of the fact that we already have a good spread in terms of scale, apart from US, Europe, we are present in about 45 emerging markets. What then we are able to do is to see how we are able to leverage the product that we're developing, whether it is small molecules or biosimilars, into all of these markets. And hence, we are able to then generate a better return on, on each of these products that we launch in the market. Now, in terms of the focus markets, in terms of investments, both India and emerging markets continue to be an important area of resource allocation, and so is also consumer health. While saying this, in terms of the future growth, both in terms of generics, which has been our traditional strength area, as well as biosimilars, which is would be critical not only for this decade, but the number of patent expiries going forward in the US into the next decade. This is something that we would continue to build both through our own products as well as our partner products.
So, as you spoke about the pipeline execution, and so basically, what should investors and the market watch more closely over the next 12 to 18 months in terms of Dr. Reddy's product momentum and profit portfolio visibility? If, in case you want to tell us more about that, what kind of the pipeline, how does it look like, and where are you, expanding it?
Sure. So if you take a market like India, we are getting access to innovative assets that can deliver care better than the current standard of care. And then that should continue to propel India's business. In terms of products that matter, the impending launch of semaglutide, both in India, emerging markets, and Canada is something that we would continue to focus. And this is something that would be followed by the abatacept launch in the key markets, both US, Europe, as well as in emerging markets. In terms of pipeline, we continue to focus on a set of both small molecules as well as large molecules and continue to see how we would use the platform that we have created in terms of the markets to leverage each product that we are developing and looking at the relevance of these products in the market. How might we be able to reach this product to the patients? So that's the way in which I would look into how the portfolio is expected to shape up.
Okay, if I want to ask you about the next 3 to 4 years, what markers will Dr. Reddy's use to judge its progress and in terms of business mix, margin durability, and resilience to global pricing or regulatory shocks that we are seeing in current times?
Sure. So first, I think we are happy for the fact that we're able to serve about 750 million patients globally. The expectation as we go forward, we would want to be in a place where we could serve about 1.5 billion patients. So we would want to see how we could not only bring in the current standard of care, but also the future standard of care as well. In terms of business aspirations, I think we have business aspirations that are set for each of the market. For example, in India, we would want to work towards getting into the top five. Similarly, we have business aspiration for each of the market, but at an organization level, looking at how we could continue to do a double-digit growth, a healthy margin, so that we are able to continue to invest in the right set of assets and continue to grow the business both in the branded markets as well as the developed markets as well.
Okay, Ramana, in the global market scenario that we see, the pharmaceutical industry and the markets are gradually becoming, more competitive. Where do you see there is a risk in execution of your plans, and which markets do you see are becoming tougher and tougher?
So if you see today, there is pricing pressure on the generic industry. There are geopolitical issues that one need to look at. But at the same time, there is opportunities to serve a large number of patients, and there's also opportunities to look at innovations that we can bring into India and emerging markets. At the same time, when I'm looking into the next several years, there is a good number of assets, especially in the area of biologics that would go off patent. So there's enough in terms of the pipeline that companies like Dr. Reddy's can pursue. And at the same time, what happens for us is we have a decent spread in terms of the way in which the business is structured. We have the pillar of US. At the same time, we have India and emerging markets almost similar in terms of size. Then we have Europe and PSCI. So in the sense, we are kind of um, well um, leveraged between the developed and the developing markets, or the emerging markets, as one would call. And given that uh, the fact that we have operated in these markets for more than 3 decades, and we understand how the cycles work in these markets, we should continue to pursue to serve the markets and continue to see how we would work to deliver on the business performance.
Ramana, you spoke about innovative products and patent expiries. I would like to ask you about the semaglutide portfolio. Do you think that market is that anti-obesity market is this segment only limited to weight loss, or do you think that pharmaceutical companies domestically and internationally as well are also looking at a broader portfolio that includes metabolic diseases as well? Or do you think that this particular segment is going to feel the pressure after this becomes highly competitive and saturated? So since you are also entering into this particular segment, do you think it should ideally be having a broader portfolio, or should it be limited to would it be limited to weight loss only?
So if you take GLPs, and it has been shown that increasing number of trials that are taking place, that these are products that are there not only for diabetes, but for weight loss, but for many other indications. And if you look into the amount of research that is happening, not only the current GLPs, but the GLPs that are in various phases of development, I think there is a good amount of evidence that is coming out that this is a product that can be used for many indications and pretty meaningfully. So in the same way that these products have created a good impact so far in many of the markets post genericization. I think the idea is that these products would be accessible to all the patients who would need a GLP-1, um, depending on whether there could be a patient with diabetes or patient with obesity issues or cardiovascular issues and other comorbidities. So, in my view, I think it is a good class of compounds that can address several diseases, and there are more products that are going to come this way. So, I think this is a class of assets that are going to stay.
Is Dr. Reddy's also working in this direction, maybe broadening the
Yes,
portfolio beyond semaglutide?
absolutely. We have set up the manufacturing and the R&D capabilities to go after this class of compounds.
Okay, that's great. Ramana, thank you so much for taking time out for us today and speaking to Business Today and sharing your perspective on where Dr. Reddy's is headed next. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much.